Alright, we got a K7000 7A here. There's a cap right here, and this trace looks awful black. Go into the vertical IC. So I'm going to make sure we have continuity there. There ain't something funky going on with that trace. I did fire up this chassis, and I had high voltage, but I had no neck glow, so I'm going to try to change the caps and see if that works. So also, here's that one with the funky trace. That cap right there is swollen at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the caps out, and I'm going to test them one by one and see if there's any that is like crazy out of spec. Got some crusties on this cap by the flyback. It's not bulged, but there is some leakage underneath there. Alright, this cap right here. When I got this cap up off the board, it just stunk. Look at all that juice. I hope this cap's bad, because 7000A flybacks you can't get, and I don't want to cap this whole board and it be a bad flyback. I mean, I didn't pay for any of the parts, but it's still a waste of money. And look at this, where it was at. Juicy, huh? Look at that wetness down in there. So I'm going to dig some of that glue out and clean that up. Every cap I've tested so far hasn't been too bad. If this one specs out real bad, I'll be back on. It's reading 1136 UF. That's definitely over 10%. I don't know if that's enough to not work, but I was kind of like looking for maybe it didn't have anything in it at all. I'm going to keep going. Still, I think that's been the most out of spec. Okay, that's the bulge cap. It's damaged part. Can't get a reading on it. But that's in the vertical circuit. At least I would think so. It goes right to the vertical IC. Okay, so I do have this on a tube, and the yoke is not quite what a K7000 needs. So the image is going to be either too narrow or too wide. It's relatively close, but it's not going to be perfect if it does show a picture here. So test pattern generator's on, anode's hooked up, yoke is hooked up, neck board is on, CRT ground is hooked up, power will be hooked up. Let me check this. I slightly have the screen pod up. Slightly up. Hold on. I want to hook up my voltage meter to the B+. Hang on. Okay. So okay, it fired. $123.8 volts. So the voltage regulator is working, at least that much of it. Okay, I'm not getting any neck glow. I'm going to turn the contrast and brightness up a little bit as well. I'm really afraid this thing's going to blow up. I'm going to check on the front side of that resistor. 161 volts. Nothing's overly hot. Okay. I'm going to check some other things here. That should have gotten some kind of neck glow by now. I do hear some high voltage. It is staticking up when high voltage comes on. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the flyback is putting out high voltage, but I don't get any, I don't hear any deflection, and I don't see any neck glow. Let's see if I get some faint neck glow. Shit. I'm gonna be plugging this in the dark. Oh, there is a little neck glow. But I don't have no deflection. Very, very faint neck glow. See it? Oh, wait. There is. There is an image, but it's screwed up. First of all, well, it's turned on, and I seen an image, the checkerboard image, I believe. Okay, so it is on standard. All right. All right, I had to find out. I'm gonna put this back on the 130 volt side, 123 volt side of the resistor. HOT, the regulator's not warm. The HOT is not warm. Okay, so I've powered this on. I have high voltage, and I did have some sort of image. So I am getting deflection, and it's not collapsed either. So I'm just going to let it go, and if it blows, it blows. I don't know what else to do. I've done everything I can do, so I really want to help the guy out. He's a pretty cool dude, but I've never done a 7000A before, and they kind of freaked me out because honestly, I would have just replaced the flyback in a 7000 and said, fuck it. Okay, I have an image. It's severely folded over on itself. Is that the 50-60 hertz pot? Unplugging it. I gotta find the Phillips screwdriver. Alright, coming back on with it. No, it is not. But it is upside down. It's not getting full deflection, but that could be because the mismatched yoke. All right, before I test this anymore, I'm going to find the proper values. The only thing is I don't have a lot of monitors that have the fat neck for the 7019 inch. I think I only have one, and that yoke ain't going to work for it either because that is the medium res for NARC. Let's see what I got. All right, I'm gonna turn it on again. Image is coming up. The image is the right way now. It's collapsed from the top down. And it's rolling over backwards on itself or forward. Let's do the vertical size. Yeah. Partial vertical collapse. I think I'm gonna just try to change out that vertical IC and see if that changes anything. Okay guys, I just grabbed this vertical IC and it's hot as fuck. So I don't know if it's internally shorted or if there's something else going on, but I'm going to change the chip and see if it changes anything. This donor board of mine should have a good vertical IC, so we'll see. Maybe it'll work now. Alright, here we go. I've got a different vertical IC in there. Yeah, I think we have full deflection. Somewhat of a full deflection. Alright. See if we can do something with this 50-60 hertz pot. No, it's still got something wrong with it. I'm wondering if it could be because the ohms ain't high enough. Let's see if we can get some vertical size. See what happens here. Well, we can get full vertical out of it. Vertical position's working. Horizontal position. Pot needs cleaned. I'm going to turn down the contrast and the brightness. There we go. There we go. Let's get a little bit of focus going here. right about there. I think there's something loose on this board. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just finger fucking the controls, not saying anything. Let's check out the image here. If you make it this far. Alright, there's the image. See them lines at the top? I got full deflection from left to right, up and down, but I got these strange lines. Adjust 50, 60 hertz pot. It does move them. Is there still something in the vertical circuit messed up? What? I don't know yet. It's like it's really peeled apart. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the yoke. Alright. I'm going to see if I can get the regular tube for this chassis before I really do anything else, because I'll go check the TV farm and see if I can find a tube for it. I don't think that yoke is exactly compatible for this chassis. The ohm load's too high on it. The ohm number is down. It's too much of a direct pull. It needs more ohms is what I'm trying to say. This is a K7000A. Got it, wasn't working. Changed the HOT, the voltage regulator, and I believe its D13 was bad. Changed them. Got it to fire up, so I did a cap kit. When I got it up running good enough to see everything, had a half collapse. So on a whim, I just changed the vertical IC, and now it's somewhat more deflecting, but it still seems like it's kind of slightly rolled over on itself. So kind of lost. So any help would be great. Thank you. 7000A. Don't have the fold over anymore. I'm not quite happy with the way I fixed it because I don't think it's right, but it is working. Basically, I put a different pot in the 50-60 hertz for the 50-60 hertz pot. The one I took out was reading about 330 ohms, and the one I put in was a 1K to get enough adjustment to get the fold over to leave. So my guess is there's probably something out of spec in the 50-60 hertz circuit, which I'm going to have to find a schematic and go through and test all the resistors and that, and see if I can find out exactly what's wrong in the 50-60 hertz pot circuit. But it is running. It's keeping focus. Brightness isn't changing or anything like that, so I'm not gonna call it a success, but it does display a beautiful image. If I can't figure it out, it's been running a few hours straight now like this. I'm gonna let it run all night, and hopefully when I get up in the morning it's still running. Alright. I'll make a short video to update this if I ever find anything wrong. The actual problem. Maybe the 50-60 hertz pot is supposed to be a 1K pot. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schematics yet.